Today marks the first step in what leaders hope will make Union Station in Springfield safer for both the residents and visitors.
Western Mass News reporter Madison Lazowski joins us live from Union Station with more on their new collaborative initiative. And now, Madison, this measure started today.
Yeah, Chris and Amanda, it's not only Union Station that noticed a recent increase in violence and crime here on the grounds. It's the Hampden County Sheriff's Office, it's the city of Springfield, and it's police in general, including our viewers who have reached out to us with their concerns. Now, the plan is for all of those people to collaborate, create a stronger presence on the grounds here at Union Station so that visitors and residents can both feel safer.
Before it was kind of crazy, before it was kind of, concern.
John Garcia and Pedro Disla visit Union Station in Springfield almost daily, and they've certainly noticed some differences since the Safe Travels Initiative Task Force kicked in.
After a couple of days, I see some change. I see more police officers coming around. I see more security around here. We need that. We need that because we need more protection.
In response to previous violence and crime, the city announced an initiative in cooperation with the Hampden County Sheriff's Department that there would be a heightened law enforcement presence at Union Station with hopes to make this area safer for all. Springfield Mayor Dominic Sarno emphasizing that Union Station is a travel hub for so many people that the security presence can sometimes get outnumbered.
When you have upwards of 3 million people a year and 200,000 a month, of all creed, colors, and backgrounds, and the majority, 90-something%, are great people. But all it takes is one.
So now, plans to combat those previous incidents through a reallocation of staff throughout the city and the county is already being felt on the station grounds.
Yes, I believe so. I think it's important we feel safer because sometimes many people come that mess up the area and just want to cause chaos. We feel more protected with the police here.
Residents sharing with us that not only is this initiative something positive for the region, but a necessity as well.
We deserve better protection. We deserve feel safe in all this public space around Springfield.
Now, we did reach out to Union Station for comment today, along with Police Superintendent Larry Akers, but neither were available to speak with us today. For now, reporting live in Springfield, Madison Lazowski, Western Mass News.